The term haram refers to things that are strictly forbidden in Islam. However, there are things in Islam that may not necessarily be strictly forbidden, but are frowned upon or displeasing according to Islamic rules. These things fall into a category known as makruh, which are acts not legally forbidden, but really discouraged. Welcome back, guys, to FTD Facts. Leroy Kenton here, and I'm going to be looking at 10 things that Muslims in many cases think are haram, means strictly forbidden, but are actually not. Okay, so let's jump into this episode starting at number 10, delaying the Asr prayer. This is the afternoon prayer in Islam, and it was narrated in the hadith by Anas that the Prophet Muhammad said this: "If any one of you forgets a prayer or sleeps and misses it, then let him pray it whenever he remembers it." And this is found in the Hadith al-Bukhari and Muslim. So based on this, it is not haram to delay the Asr prayer till the sun changes the color in the sky. However, you would have missed the rewards for performing it in the preferred time period. Number 9, this is a big one, rushing during prayer. The ruling on this is that if reading fast makes you not articulate the words properly and or changes the meaning of the verses that you're reciting during the salat or prayer, then the prayer will be invalid. But if the meaning is actually not changed, then the prayer is still valid. However, you don't get any of the rewards from the prayer except for just the amount of time that you were actually focused during that prayer. Fasting on Eid al-Fitr comes next. Although fasting is considered a righteous act in Islam, there are times when fasting is considered prohibited or discouraged according to the majority of Sunni Muslim scholars. Now, it is said that the Prophet Muhammad forbade Muslims from fasting on the day of Eid al-Fitr since it is a day to feast. Alright guys, number 7 brings us an interesting one, using gold or silver utensils. In the Hadith, Bukhari and Muslim, it says this: "The Messenger of Allah said, 'Do not drink from silver or gold utensils, and do not eat in plates made from them, for they are for them, disbelievers, in this world, and for us in the hereafter.'" However, though, it is permissible to keep them as investments for decoration or other purposes. Number 6 brings us to buying and selling at the time of Adhan, or the call to prayer. Now, in the 9th verse of Surah Al-Jumu'ah, it says this: "O you who believe, when the call is made for prayer on Friday, then hasten to remember Allah and leave your trade." Alright guys, so we just took a look at 5 things in Islam that are not necessarily haram, and we have 5 more to look at. But I just want to mention our related video. That video looks at 10 surprising things that Muslims think are halal but are actually haram, specifically when it comes to foods. So that video, I'll link to it below in the video description section, where you can check it out, and it's one of our most popular videos here on FTD Facts, so I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. Again, I'll link to it below in the video description section where you can check it out after this one. Okay, so we have 5 more things to look at, so let's get back to it, guys. This actually brings us to eating horse meat on a regular occasion. Now, it was narrated by Jabir ibn Abdullah that the Prophet Muhammad said these following words: "On the day of Khaybar, the Messenger of Allah forbade eating the flesh of domestic donkeys, but he granted a concession with regard to horses." And number 4, we look at not bathing on Fridays. Many people used to wear wool and had only one garment to wear during the time of the Prophet Muhammad. Now, the Prophet Muhammad, he advised Muslims to just be mindful of their hygiene and to be clean by taking a shower, washing yourself, brushing your teeth, and of course putting on some perfume to smell a little better before meeting in a group for Friday noon prayer. It is also okay to take one shower with the intention for the Friday noon prayer, combined with any other reasons that requires somebody to take a shower. Now, next thing to talk about is skipping tasmiyah in ablution. This is also known as Bismillah, which means in the name of Allah. It is a recommended practice before you start ablution or wudu, and if you miss it, well, it should be recited during the ablution or wudu. Also, Muslim scholars are of the opinion that the Prophet's hadith in which he said this: the prayer of a person who does not perform ablution is not valid, and the ablution of a person who does not mention the name of Allah in the beginning is not valid. And this indicates that reciting Bismillah during wudu is preferable, but not doing so won't necessarily affect the validity of wudu. But if it is skipped, the reward of this act is missed by the Muslim. Now we got to talk about not using siwak during wudu. This is also known as miswak, and it's a teeth cleaning twig. And according to the hadith by Habiba, it said, "The Messenger of Allah said, were it not hardship for my nation, I would have commanded them to use a toothstick with every prayer as they perform ablution." And finally, we made it to number 1 in this episode. We're going to be looking at wasting water during ablution. Abdullah ibn Amr reported this: the Messenger of Allah passed by Sa'd while he was performing ablution. The Prophet said, "What is this excess?" Sa'd said, "Is there excess with water in ablution?" The Prophet said, "Yes, even if you were on the banks of a flowing river." And just like that, guys, we made it to the end of another episode. This was a brief look at 10 things that Muslims think are haram, but are actually not. Very surprising collection, and based on various different scholarly opinions, some say that no, these things are mandatory, they need to be followed. Others not necessarily as much, but either way, generally speaking, these are things that Muslims would agree on, that they're not strictly forbidden according to Islam. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Leave a like if you did. As always, want to hear your thoughts and comments down below. And if this is your first time here to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And of course, ring the bell because you want to be notified when we post new videos. Here on FTD Facts, we explore the various different countries, cultures, religions, and people of our world. So if those topics interest you, go ahead and join the FTD Facts family. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.